back for part two with my first interview with my mother, um, Beverley Gandy here, and I'm Alex Gandy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in piping? Because I think that I didn't have that written down, but I think that's important too for people to see.
Oh, well, I had my dad was teaching a group, and it was open to everybody. And I was about 11 years old, and I wanted to learn how to play. I thought it would be fun. And initially, Dad was against it because I had been in piano and I'd been in ballet, and I quit both of those things. So he didn't want to waste his time teaching me how to play. But luckily, it was a group class, and my mom convinced Dad to allow me to go to the classes. It wasn't actually Dad who was teaching me, it was Jake Watson.
Hmm.
And out of that class, there was maybe 8 or 9 kids, and there was only 2 children that continued on with it. And I was one, and another was Mike Thompson, who doesn't play any longer. So, but he did compete for quite a while.
Excellent.
So, yeah,
So
that's
now
how I
we
got into it.
we fast forward an indeterminate amount of years,
Hmm.
and on returning to playing now, and sort of where you feel like you got back to form, what were the biggest challenges you ran into?
Uh, physically, stamina was the biggest. And also like relearning um, how to blow properly, get a steady tone of the drones with, you know how it goes. Blow the D, right?
Yeah.
So that was my most challenging thing was the stamina. And then other than that, it was also learning all the new um, systems, new reeds, new bags with zippers in them, and different seasoning and water tubes and drone tubes. And I really felt like I was in a wrestling match initially, like I was just having difficulty with all of it.
Yeah, it's
But I did have a lot of help. And I'm very grateful for it. Like people provided me with drone reads and chanter reads, Bruce Hitchings, drone reads, Colin McClellan, chanter reads, just to help me get back. And the Lees, of course, provided me with a bag. And I mean, I had to pay for it, but they made it to suit me at my size and what I felt was comfortable. So I appreciated all of that. All that help was instrumental in getting me back.
compared to the 80s. What do you think? What were the biggest changes? Like, what did you think? What stood out most significantly?
I find that the instrument and the tone has improved greatly since the 80s in terms of even like grade 3A, that's a good class. Like that's a
Hmm.
decent sounding pipe band, like whereas back in the 80s it may not have been. And what I liked is that there are as many women as men in these bands. It's not just a male only. Like in grade one, that's a little different. There's still not as many women in grade one bands, but in a grade three band, it seemed like there was equal amounts.
Yeah, Dartmouth was pretty split down the middle, which is
Yeah,
a good news story for sure.
yeah.
Playing with Bev this past year was a super exciting, fun adventure. And, we got to see her come back after so many years. And for me, it was like, this is super cool because I've always heard her talk about playing in pipe bands and playing in solos and doing all these pipe band things, but never actually got to see her. So having her back and then also getting to play alongside my one of my best friends and a mentor and someone who I've looked up to was just a super inspirational thing as a whole.
How were the
And
nerves?
you know what? Because I'd had a few games under my belt and we got to practice all week. And also, we had the European Championships the week before, so that helped considerably because we weren't sure how we would stack up against the other bands. That gave us encouragement. And then having to practice every day the week before, just my confidence was fine. Of course, the attacks and the cutoffs are the worst thing, but I don't think that's any different in any band in any grade. That's
Yeah.
the most important things. So I thought my nerves were pretty good, really.
Well, and I think being able to be in a group with friends and there's
Was helpful.
no
Mhm.
strangers kicking around in the organization there, and you have me and Dad helping tune up, and Matt McIsaac there on the day,
Yeah,
and
it
so
was
it's
just great. And I was pleased and I felt prepared and well practiced. So um, I wasn't like freaking out or anything. It's just mild jitters, you know.
yeah, I think
So
anyone that if you're completely unnervous at the Worlds, it's probably unhealthy.
exactly. You're not in the game. That's right. Yeah.
And what are the plans for continuing competing? What's piping like in the next 5 years for Bev Gandy?
Oh, I would say that there's at least one more year competing.
Just one.
Well, it depends on how next summer goes, let's say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. I
Well,
mean, really, I'm not getting any younger, right? So, um, I've committed for one more year and we'll see how it goes after that. Yeah,
all right. Any advice for people thinking about returning to piping if it's been a year, a decade, more, less?
right. If you want to do it, I say go for it because uh, but you do need assistance. You need people willing to help you out because you can't do it by yourself.
No, the
But I
I took
wouldn't say don't try it. I would say go for it.
I talk
Yeah,
about that
because
quite a bit when I'm teaching, where I say, you know, the especially in Pembroke and a lot of this stuff, it's you need a teacher. It's there's so much
definitely.
gray area, or no more, no, that's too much, no, that way less, oh no, more, and it's
Right.
not like a tangible thing always.
Oh, and one other thing I should mention about the difference between the 80s and now is that um, you, Blaze, uh, Jillian were willing to show me what I needed to do, whereas before it would be done for me.
There's less teaching and more just let me
Just
fix it.
here, I'll fix that for you. And I had no clue. So I was always saying, show me what you're doing. I want to know what you're doing. So I could actually learn these things rather than having someone else do it for me. And that was good. That was
Yeah,
good
it's
for me.
give them a
I
fish,
still will
teach
come
them.
running to you whenever I need help.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we all need help. It's
that's right.
if you're not getting any assistance, you're probably going in the wrong direction. From my experience, it has been great seeing mom back, and I think for me with young kids, it's good that they're seeing grandma and grandpa involved, and hopefully, you give at least Colin a shot to, maybe get a tune with you at the tail end of your career. But if not,
Yes,
you can help tune his drones.
that's true. The ears hopefully are still working by then, if nothing else is. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks,
No,
mother.
it was really good and I thoroughly enjoyed it.